What if the real mastermind behind one of the most shocking murders wasn't the one who pulled the trigger? What if the person responsible was someone far closer to the crime than we ever imagined? Could Tyler Robinson's father be the hidden hand behind the murder of Charlie Kirk? As investigators sifted through the details of the case, something disturbing became clear. Tyler Robinson wasn't just an innocent bystander in this tragedy. He had been carefully trained by his own father, no less, how to handle a firearm, how to shoot, and ultimately, how to kill. His father, a former law enforcement officer with military experience, had spent years shaping Tyler's abilities with weapons, teaching him the precision of a marksman. But was this really just about self-defense? Or was it preparation for something far darker? It wasn't just a few weekend outings to the range. Tyler's father made sure his son was exposed to firearms from a young age. From an investigator's perspective, this isn't just about target practice, it's about control. Tyler's father taught him how to handle weapons in ways most people would consider extreme. Was it innocent? Or was Tyler being groomed to become a weapon himself? And if he was, what was the end goal? But then, after Charlie Kirk was murdered, something even more unsettling happened. Tyler didn't disappear, he didn't try to cover his tracks. Instead, he walked straight into the arms of the law, his confession almost too rehearsed. Was this part of the plan all along? Was Tyler left exposed, not because he was the killer, but because he was the perfect fall guy? Why would his father allow him to take the blame for this, especially after all the careful preparation? Could it be that Tyler's father had orchestrated the entire event, knowing his son would take the hit while he remained in the shadows? Let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And share your thoughts. Do you believe Tyler's father played a bigger role in this than we think? Tyler Robinson didn't learn to shoot in a video game. He didn't pick up a gun off the street. He was trained, patiently, methodically, by his father. Matt Robinson, a sheriff's deputy with years of tactical training, gave his son his first firearm, taught him how to aim, how to breathe, how to kill with precision. It started as target practice, but was it just that? Some say it was a father-son hobby, but others, including federal investigators, are now asking, was this training? Was Tyler being groomed for something darker? At the time of the assassination, Tyler was 19, yet his shot, fired from 300 yards, under pressure in the dark, struck with deadly accuracy. That's not casual, that's not luck, that's tactical. And when the rifle was recovered near the scene, Tyler's father recognized it instantly. It was the same rifle he'd gifted to his son. So here's what doesn't add up. If Matt Robinson knew Tyler had been struggling, if he'd heard his son rail against Charlie Kirk at the dinner table, if he saw the signs, anger, isolation, obsession, why didn't he lock that rifle away? Why did he keep enabling his son's access to a lethal weapon? Is it possible that Tyler wasn't just a troubled teen acting alone, but the product of years of exposure, training, and quiet radicalization by his own father? And why now, after the assassination, does his father suddenly urge him to surrender? Guilt? Damage control? Or something else? Think about your own family, the people who shaped you. Has anyone ever pushed you down a path you knew wasn't right? Do you think Tyler's father was protecting his son or preparing him? Where are you watching from? What's your take? Was this parenting gone wrong or grooming by design? Tyler Robinson's confession didn't feel like a breakdown. It felt like a performance. Investigators immediately noticed how calm he was. Controlled. Almost like he had practiced every word. Like he was ready for this moment. That's when the questions started to shift away from just Tyler and toward his father. Was Tyler taking the blame for someone else? Or was this entire confession part of something larger? A plan conceived well before the trigger was ever pulled. Detectives began looking into Matt Robinson's role. A trained law enforcement officer, a father who gave his son a rifle, a man who raised Tyler in an environment filled with guns, discipline, and political tension. Was this just parenting gone wrong? Or was Matt Robinson hiding something more? Tyler Robinson now faces first-degree murder charges. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison or face the death penalty. But behind the courtroom doors, prosecutors are digging deeper. Because Tyler may not have acted alone. If evidence shows his father helped plan the assassination, gave strategic advice, or if provided the weapon with prior knowledge of Tyler's intent, then Matt Robinson could face charges as an accomplice or even a co-conspirator. Legal experts are watching closely. Some believe Tyler may argue duress, that he was under emotional or psychological pressure from his father. Others point to possible manipulation or a conspiracy between father and son, a hidden pact behind the violence. Whatever the truth is, this trial will not just determine Tyler's future. It could also put his father in the crosshairs of the law. Tyler Robinson didn't become a killer overnight. He was shaped. From a young age, he was taught how to hold a weapon, how to aim, how to follow orders. His father, a law enforcement officer, was not only his parent, but his instructor, his authority, and possibly his ideological guide. Psychologists analyzing the case have suggested that Tyler may have been emotionally programmed, raised in a world where obedience, control, and masculinity were tied to violence and authority. Sociologists see a broader picture, a household dominated by a rigid father figure, where political ideologies may have been treated as truth, and where dissent may have been punished or dismissed. Was Tyler simply the product of a strict upbringing? Or was he molded, manipulated, and ultimately used? This case forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about influence, about control, about how far a parent's reach can extend, even into the darkest corners of a child's mind. Have you ever felt pushed by someone close to you? Ever been guided down a path you knew didn't feel right? Do you believe Tyler was manipulated by his father? Or did he make this choice on his own? Tell us where you're watching from, and tell us what you believe about Tyler, about his father, and about the truth behind this case. Tyler Robinson broke down in tears during his court appearance, a young man caught between the weight of his actions and the reality closing in around him. His mother sat quietly, torn, caught between grief, confusion, and a desperate hope for answers. Across the courtroom, Charlie Kirk's family and supporters showed raw outrage and heartbreak. Their loss was profound. A father, a leader, taken far too soon. The courtroom was more than a legal stage. It was a place where grief clashed with justice, and emotions ran raw. But this case is not just about one young man's actions. Tyler's father remains an enigma, a shadow looming over the entire investigation. Some evidence suggests he may have encouraged, even orchestrated, the murder. Was this a tragic bond between father and son, twisted and turned deadly? Or a cold, calculated scheme masterminded by a man with power and influence? The answers remain hidden, but the questions demand attention. What really happened that night? Was Tyler Robinson a puppet, manipulated, and pushed beyond his limits? Or was he a willing participant, fully aware, fully responsible? Could his father have been the true mastermind behind it all? These are questions with no easy answers. Do you think Tyler's father was involved? Let us know in the comments. Keep the conversation going. Where are you watching from? And what's your theory? If you found this investigation chilling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more true crime stories. Share your thoughts on this case below. Your opinion matters. Thank you for watching.